I have been offered rates from like $15 per hour to $190 per hour. Right, the monthly salary, that's the trap, right? So if I need to choose three main reasons that why somebody jumped into the freelancing, I'm the only freelancer who doesn't have a freelancing, account on any of the freelancing
Oh,
site. Few challenges one should consider before jumping into freelancing. The first and the foremost is the risk appetite.
hello, data lovers, and welcome back to another super amazing podcast for all aspiring data engineers. And this time it is going to be about data engineering as a freelancer. So, our mind blowing guest speaker actually quit his job to start the data engineering as a freelancer, and he is doing it for last couple of years. So, he has a lot of things to share with you all, that how you can start the freelancing in the data engineering domain, what kind of skill sets you need to acquire, how to find the clients, how to find the projects, how much money you can earn as a freelancer, what will be the challenges, what kind of tools and platform you can use to start the freelancing, and most important part, how to calculate the project budget for your freelancing project. So all these kind of hidden mysteries are there in this podcast. So stay there for next 30 minutes and watch this informative session. And for this amazing kind of podcast, I'm definitely targeting 2000 likes. I know you guys will complete it. And also let me know in the comment section in which section of data engineering you can make more money, full time or a freelancer. Thank you so much, Atul, for joining me today. And so I'm hell excited for this one. I truly want to know more about you, want to deep dive into your life. But it would be really great if you can give a short introduction to the audience and anything about your past professional background.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you, Sasank, for having me. And also thank you for providing quality content on your channel, right? Related to data engineering. I've been following you since, a long time now. So thank you for that. Uh, Talking about me, like I started as a backend developer in, 2000, I think 8 or 7. So it's been a long journey now. So I was mainly, at that time web development was on boom, and PHP was the de facto for the same, right? So I was working on PHP, and then later on I transitioned into the full stack developer somewhat around 2009, 2011 or so. And then I got the opportunity to move to Japan in 2013, and there I was working on a project. So WebRTC at that time was pretty new. So I was working on a project for a multi-user video conferencing system without any plugins.
Okay.
So that kind of got popular, and I got an opportunity to publish a course on the same. That was I was approached by the PAC publication, so I published a course on the WebRTC there. So that had a as a it had a profound impact on my not as a just as a developer, but as an individual as well. That experience. So after that, somewhat around 2015, I moved to the big data space. I was working on Hadoop earlier.
Okay.
In 2018, I moved to US for a couple of years, and 2019 I moved from US to Canada, and last year I'm back to India. So in a nutshell, that's my journey so far.
You started your career in 2007 as a software engineer, right? And now you have an overall experience of approximately 15 years. So, how has your journey been so far, and how did you change your career path towards big data and data engineering? Because after spending these many years in software development, probably somebody would have looked for architect role or these kind of things, right? But it's very astonishing that you moved into big data and data engineering. So how about that one?
Yeah, so if I look back my whole journey, and if I need to kind of describe my overall journey into three sentences, I would say it's full of constant learning. It's a journey which is full of nurturing curiosity and the instinct to seek solutions. So that's what I did. It's been amazing, actually, amazing, rewarding, as well as very gratifying as well. So now, to answer your second question is like, so I was working like as an architect only in 2015, and it was going great, but then I started thinking like, what's next big thing? And after a few days of research and giving thought, I came to conclusion that data field is the way to go. So it took me, it was an, easy or instant decision. I did my proper research for, let's say, I think 2 weeks or so. And at that time, Hadoop was, picking up, and so I jumped into it. So, and so I had, a few laptops, and then, kind of create the Hadoop cluster, or connecting those laptops and all initially, because at that time, the cloud wasn't, having those big data capabilities in 2015. It wasn't that easy to set it up there, or it was having, then also it was kind of expensive to do that. So that's what initially I did, and mostly, I started as a Hadoop administrator. So I was, working on Cloudera and Hortonworks. I
Yeah.
don't know people are familiar
Yeah,
now with
I
that or
am
not,
actually
but
familiar with that one, but yeah, I can understand.
yeah, but that something was very popular that day.
Hmm.
So I was a couple of years I worked as a Hadoop administrator, mainly on Cloudera Hortonworks, and
Okay.
then slowly those cloud providers, started giving distributing computing capabilities, as a service, and that made things really easier, you know. So that's how I slowly transitioned. It's not like, I went and I joined the course, and in 2 months I kind of became jumped into the data engineering or big data space. I took my time and then slowly transitioned into this.
So far, I have covered a lot of content related to the salaried employees, you can say mostly salaried data engineers. But now, Atul, you are into the freelancing. So, when and how did you decide to quit your permanent job and start freelancing for data engineering? What was the main reason? Because everybody loves their monthly paycheck, right? That is our normal tendency. Okay, salary is coming, we are doing our jobs, we are just giving the deliverables. But how did you just manage all those things to quit your permanent job, your monthly salary, and completely into freelancing?
Right, the monthly salary, that's the trap, right? so, so, so actually, I've been doing freelancing earlier. So I did freelancing, very early in my career, but I was doing it as a side gig. It wasn't a full time, job.
Okay.
So I had a experience with freelancing, but not quite into the data field, but I was very familiar with the space. So when I came back to India last year, I had, options in front of me, and kind of I would say I would, got a bit lucky because I there is a long term, contract opportunity came to my way.
Okay.
So again, I took my time, and I gave it a thought, and I decided to go with it. But to be honest, like if I need to choose three main reasons that why somebody jumped into the freelancing, I would say the first one is like, as a freelancer, if you're working, with multiple clients, you get opportunity to face a wide variety of data related problems.
That's true.
It's not domain specific because you have multiple clients, so you will have, you can work simultaneously on multiple domains. And I'm kind of a firm believer, learning by doing. So it gives that opportunity. So that was one of the main factor in decision making at that time.
Okay.
The second point I would say is like, whether you are an full-time employee or, you are independent contractor, freelancer. Ultimately, what we are doing is like we are trading our time with money,
Right.
right? And then to have that control over your time is something I always wanted.
Okay.
So that's one of the reason, that, I have that flexibility on my time. I can, choose my client to with whom I need to work, with whom I don't need to work. So yeah, I would say these are the couple of, reasons which, drove me to that freelancing part.
So I will stop you here to discuss something really important, and thanks to Simply Learn for supporting this video. So if you are an aspiring data scientist and want to become a top-notch data scientist and want to grab a super amazing job in 2023, then you should check out #1 Data Science Masters program by Simplilearn. And Simplilearn doesn't need any kind of introduction when it comes to creating top-notch content for aspiring data professionals. And the ratings already speaks about this program. Here you can see 4.5 worldwide rating, and this course is truly practical based, where you will get a chance to work more than 25 plus data science projects, time to time master classes, hackathons, and even the job assistance will be provided to you. They have even provided the no cost EMI option if you want to enroll in this program. Just click on enroll button, complete the payment, provide the details, and it's done. And when you will click on a custom link which I have provided in the description and apply code Shashank10, then you can even get the 10% discount. But this is only applicable for 10 days starting from today. So here are complete details about this program. These will be the tools which will be covered: NumPy, Pandas, SkyPy, Python, R, Seaborn, Tableau, TensorFlow, Matplotlib. And even if you feel after looking at the program you have any kind of confusion, any kind of doubt, you can even drop a request from here and you will get the free consultation call, and you can clarify all your doubts related to this course. And again, within that 10 days of window, you can apply that code Shashank10 to enroll in this program. So this will be the complete sequence of this course, starting from the Python programming. So even if you don't have a prior experience in the programming, then this is the course for you. Everything will be taught from the scratch. And another interesting thing, they have 2 more certification courses for data science. One is data science with Python certification. Another one is data science with R certification course, where you can see the top-notch content, 64-hour long content, dedicated mentorship, self-paced program, more than 10 plus real-world industry projects. And honestly speaking, these kind of certifications programs are highly valuable when it comes to stand out in the crowd. So if you want to increase your chances, then definitely these certifications would be super helpful. You can enroll in this program. So hurry up.
How do you get data engineering projects for freelancing? Because I think that would be the obvious question from everyone who would ask, okay, Atul, you started your data engineering journey, then what about clients? What about projects? How to get it, right? So that is the first part of it. And if you have used any platforms, or you think that this platform, that platform actually helped you to get those kind of projects as a freelancing or the clients, so please feel free to recommend to our audience as well.
Right. So in my case, I guess I've been, so far very lucky, because probably I'm the only freelancer who doesn't have a freelancing, account on any of the freelancing site.
Wow.
So the only source, go to market, or any source where I get the project is just LinkedIn. So I do get approached at LinkedIn, or, from my previous connections, and I've been working on with only these 2 mediums. And but there are other platforms in which I know few of my friends uses, like you have Upwork, which is very popular, you have Fiverr, which is very popular, but they have a very good success rate of getting projects. But if you ask me my personal 2 favorites, probably if I need to go to market, I would choose. There is one platform called Turing, and another is TopTel. So it's I believe like they are great, as they do provide international standards rate for developers. And once you clear their interview, right, they have their own interview process, and then they put you into the client project. And once you clear their interview process, you have, from the monetary perspective, I think it's really good. And they also have a good client base. So I would recommend these 2.
Like you have mentioned monetary part, right, on these platforms. So let's talk about it. Everybody will have the idea about the salaried employees. Okay, if you are working in Amazon, you have this experience, this much compensation you might be getting. What about the freelancers? So how much money can we make as a freelance data engineer? Also, again, it is all about the estimation based as well. How can someone decide, okay, this much effort will be required efficiently, so that they don't even feel that, okay, somebody has misused their skills by lowballing, all these kind of traps, right? I want you to provide crystal clear information to the audience.
Right, that's a very interesting question, because what happens is like in my case also, there have been few instances. So talking about money first is it's a wide
Okay.
range. Where when the project client comes to give you some idea, like I have been offered rates from like $15 per hour to $190 per hour. So it's that wide,
$190 per hour.
right? Yes. So so
Okay.
so I mean so that's like it depends on many factors, like what's the geographical location of the
Mhm.
client, right? Will you directly be working with the client, or there is an intermediate company for which you would be working? What's the duration of the
Okay.
project? Like sometimes these with short duration rates are
Mhm.
high, but for longer duration rates are low, which is
Yeah.
understandable, and it makes sense. But there is, one point I would like to make here is that with the Indian market, I believe it is yet to mature for contracting and freelancing work. I know it's a big statement, but it's solely, on my
Mhm.
experience. So I'm sorry if I offend someone, but it's solely on my experience, because if you compare with the international market, then the international market, there is a trend, like if you are working as an independent contractor or
Mhm.
freelancer, you get 20 to 25% more compared to full-time employee.
Oh.
And which makes sense, because what happens is, you are not getting any benefits. You're not getting your health insurance, your, pension. You are not getting anything at all, right? So that's the reason your rates are higher. But, with Indian market, whenever I've been approached, it's just the opposite. I've been, kind of given the rates
Mhm.
lower than the full-time employee, and it's really like 20, 30, sometimes even 40% lower
Oh.
than the full-time employee. So that's been my experience
Mhm.
so far. But yeah, I would say just whoever, if you are gonna start your freelancing journey, just be very mindful, what client base you would be going with,
Mhm.
what's your target market, as well as how many hours you can give, and be very crystal clear in your, when you estimate something, break it down to a very small unit.
Okay.
So and the most important thing which I have, which I think worked for me, is be absolutely transparent with the client, and honest to your work.
Okay.
That's that's are the few tips I would say.
So, can a fresher like start their journey as a freelance data engineer, or it is only about the experienced people? Like first gain some experience, then start freelancing. So, I'll take your opinion for both of these statements. But another important part of this question would be, if it is possible, then what kind of skill sets we actually need to acquire to become a freelance data engineer?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we live in an era, right, where everything is online. So sure, I think freshers can for sure start a freelancing journey as a data engineer. But having said that, there are few challenges one should consider before jumping into freelancing. And The first and the foremost is the risk appetite, right?
Okay.
How much willing you are to, sacrifice your monthly regular income.
Mhm.
So I would say at least minimum, it should be like 6 months of, if you don't get any work for 6 months, don't get demotivated.
Mhm.
Keep working, keep creating your client base. Even if you need to initially start, at a low rates, gain that experience at the low rates, and then sooner, once you have that experience, people will pay for experience. It's all about, people are paying to get their work done faster
Right.
and with quality.
Right.
So it's easier for experienced folks for sure, but yeah, freshers can definitely start.
Mhm.
And the another thing I can think of is like freshers, they will have to go to the market to search for the project. I don't think it would be easier for freshers to get the projects from LinkedIn directly, because sometimes clients give you some assignments, and they also give you, they want to see your work, what kind of work you have done. So, you can talk about it, but some if you directly go and show your work, then it becomes a bit easier. So the first and foremost thing I would say is you should be familiar with the any of the cloud. You should be aware about the AWS, GCP, or Azure. Most of the clients approach to me are either for AWS or Azure. GCP, I haven't that much been approached. That's the first thing, because it's very rare that people have the in-house cluster now. So you need to know the cloud, and of course other data engineering tools like SQL, the fundamental of distributed computing. One should know programming language. Of course, you will need uh, Python. Spark is deep. Is you can go for that. And if you are familiar with one ETL tool, sometimes it makes your job easier, because client doesn't know what tool you are going to
Okay.
use. They want to take the data and then transform it and then put it somewhere. Sometimes you get these small assignment. So tools can make your job really easy sometimes, not always, but it's good to know one ETL tool. And then if you have more time, then of course you can go for the real-time streaming frameworks, or the NoSQL database. Kafka, I would say, is being used. So these are the tech skills I can think of. And yeah, I forgot the most important one. That's the data modeling, the dimension
Yes,
modeling,
yes.
because that's everything revolves around that.
Correct.
And then from the non-technical perspective, I'd say your communication skill is very important when you are doing freelancing. It's when I say communication, it's not like how fluent you speak. It's more, how easier for people, to understand you. That's the first thing. Time management is second thing, because if you are working with 2 3 clients, and you don't want to be in a space where you are just you don't know how much time you have spent for one
Correct.
client. So I think Clockify is something which can be used for the time management. And then adaptability, since you would be working with multiple clients, multiple projects, multiple teams. So you should be open and very adaptable in your approach to work with them.
We have talked about the rosy picture of freelancing, but what about the other side? So, is there any challenging or demotivating part of being a freelancer?
Yeah, glad you asked me this question, because usually people don't ask this. They are pretty happy with the rosy picture. So, like you said, right, there are two sides of the coin. So, of course, there are challenges, and the first and foremost is the uncertainty of the work. Being a freelancer, like I said, your risk appetite has to be big. You know that for how long you can try. That's that's like, and when you don't have work, it can be really challenging, to keep yourself motivated during that dry spell of work. It's important to keep yourself motivated, keep learning something, and the market. That's the first point. The second one is, it it's in freelancing, it's difficult to increase your pay rates. So once you are stuck with a client, like $50 per hour. Now, in a salary, you are getting an increment, let's say 10% every year. But in freelancing, if you go to the client and say, okay, give me $55 for
Hmm.
next year, that can be challenging. It's not easy to convince the client for
Okay.
that. So that's another challenge. One more I can think of is meeting unrealistic demands. Sometimes clients have really unrealistic expectations. Something which takes like a month, they can tell you,
Right.
right? They want it in 4 or 5 days. So that's where very it's very important with whom you want to work. And it's really important. I would say you should be very vigilant what kind of projects you would be working and with whom you would be working. And on a personal front, it's not easy to plan your finances, since you're not getting your regular
Right.
income. It's just not easy. You don't know, right? That how would you plan it? You plan your finance if there is no X amount crediting your account
Correct.
every month.
Correct. This was really helpful, Atul. I personally enjoyed your journey, your experience in the freelancing, and I think this is gonna be super helpful for all the folks who are watching, who have been watching data related content on my channel. Mostly I have brought those salaried employees, so now they would be also happy that yes, somebody is there who is doing something different. So thank you so much, Atul, for taking out your time and sharing this wonderful experience with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shashank. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
So that's what I had for you in this amazing podcast. I'm pretty sure you would have enjoyed this entire session and the whole experience of Atul, and now you are also super motivated to start your journey as a freelance data engineer. If yes, then share your thoughts in the comment section. If you find this podcast informative, hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel, then smash that red subscribe button, press the notification icon, and I will see you guys in the next week with another amazing podcast. Until then, keep exploring data.